Hey, hey, it is Elle Davis. I am back here with another installment on this Women's History Month. And I say this every single time, but I'm super duper duper really excited about today's guest. This has been a person that has been in my life actually much longer than I anticipate or than I remember because her daughter and I went to high school together and we have similar names. She is Latisse. I am Latrice. And people used to be like Tease, Treese, all that kind of stuff. But I did not realize that I knew her or that she was a part of my circle until I interviewed for a job at the Boys and Girls Clubs of Chicago. And I had to go through the final interview with this woman. And so I saw her and I was like, wow, you look so familiar. And then we realized that she was the mother of one of my high school classmates. But one of the things, and I haven't talked about this book this week, but I'm a part of this book called Sis, Stand on My Shoulders. And within this book, I write a story about how this person was so influential because she immediately was like, I get that you have an NYU degree. I get that you went to Whitney Young High School. That's all fine and cute and everything. But you can't get the job that you think you really want because you not ready. And I was like, but I am ready. And she was like, yeah, just come on in the fold and we'll see. So, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Miss April Janney.
Hey, Trees.
So, I love to tell that story because
Yeah,
you brought me down real quick.
that is funny. Yeah, we actually did meet. I used to help coach track
Yes.
at Whitney Young. I used to volunteer and do that, and that's where I first met you.
Yeah. And I ran track, but I wasn't any good. But that's a whole nother story for a different day.
It's about trying things. That's all.
Hey, I was okay with it. I love the team. I love the team camaraderie. And I actually think that that's a story that I want to tell one day because I wasn't any good, but I supported all my friends that were great. So, April, I'm excited to have you. And really, at the top of mind, I want to talk all about Illinois Action for Children and you being the new CEO, but that's not why we're here. But we can talk about it a little bit.
I love that. Okay. No, I'm excited to be here too. And thank you for inviting me. I've got to give you kudos because I was like, oh, look what she's doing. That is so cool. Giving all these shout out to women doing Women's Month. But you do such a good job with that all the time. So I'm pleased to be one of those women you have added to that list.
Absolutely. You are definitely top of mind. You know how important you are to me, to my professional journey. So really, y'all, let me just say that April Janney has played a significant role in my career. And I kind of feel like wherever she goes, she pulls me along too.
When you got a good thing, you don't let it go.
Well, I appreciate that so much. We have a couple of good mornings. Hey, Pam. Hey, Erica. So people are joining us. So, April, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do?
I'll see there. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. I'm a native of Chicago. I grew up on the west side of Chicago. I was born and raised on the west side of Chicago to a large family, fairly poor, but I was never hungry. Always had a roof over our heads. We always had clothes. And I had two loving parents in my household. Career-wise, I've always been engaged or motivated by working with children and supporting children. So I started out teaching special ed and early childhood, and then I moved on to leadership development with teenagers, which ended up getting me to Boys and Girls Clubs of Chicago, where I worked 20-something years in that organization. And as Latrice said, brought her into the fold. It was a great career. I did that for many years. And then the past 11 years, I have been working with Illinois Action for Children. And
Has it been 11 years already?
It's been 11 years.
Wow. Okay.
Been 11 years. I've been there 11 years. And just recently, as Latrice said, I was named CEO and president of the organization, the first African-American to lead this organization,
Yes.
male or female, in its 51 year of existence. So I'm very excited to be a part of, it's a dynamic organization. I'm very excited to be a part of it and having the chance and the honor to lead it.
You are her story in the making. So this Women's History Month, like, you all don't understand. And I don't know, and I know you don't like to take in all of that acknowledgement stuff, but you are her story in the making because you will go down in the history books as a part of this legacy of the organization. And I personally want to publicly give all of the kudos and all of the congratulations because I think that is absolutely amazing. And I'm so excited for you.
Thank you. It is an exciting time, and we do have a wonderful team there, and I'm looking forward to where we can take the organization together.
Absolutely. And I've worked with some of those people and I've been a part of that fold. So I'm very excited. And I guess I got a little Sprout history there too, huh?
Yeah, like I said, like you said, I kind of grabbed you and said, "Hey, come on over here and help me." I think it was my first 4 months in the organization.
Yes.
And I got this huge project to do, and I'm like, "Oh, I need someone to help me." Latrice.
That's the thing. Erica Stevens from BGCA talked about it the other day. We talked a little bit about our network, right? You have to hold on to your network and keep people around you that can help you succeed and help you do the work. And because that's so important.
Yeah, and you're so good at that, and I've learned that from you to do it even better because your network is so wide and so vast. You know everyone. So
I don't know why y'all say that. I
when I
don't know
get
why
to know
y'all keep saying
someone,
that.
I just call you and say, "Hey, do you know?"
I love it. That is hilarious. Well, let us get into our questions because I don't want to hold you too long on this Saturday morning. You probably going into the office or going to do some work. So, as you know, and really this kind of started from after Paul's passing,
Mhm.
I really went into this place of like, even though that was a really tough time for me, I wanted to see the opportunity in it. And so I started using this hashtag obstacle to opportunity.
Mhm.
So, what is an obstacle that you have been able to turn into an opportunity?
Being Black female in America. No, that's one. But
That's a big one.
no, but really, I think for me, and this is something that I've thought about throughout my life, well, not childhood, but more as I became a teenager. All the statistics that Black and brown people got put into, and they were often statistics where we weren't supposed to succeed. So as I thought about my life and thinking about this question, I thought about, first of all, I was from a very poor family. I had what some people would consider uneducated or undereducated parents. I had a child young. I had a child young as a single parent. And then by the time I was a senior in high school, I lost my father. By the time I was a senior in college, I lost my mother, which then resulted in me having two younger brothers, a younger sister, and a 2-year-old in a household together trying to make it, trying to make it. I did have other sisters and brothers who had their own family. They supported, but it was kind of like we were the ones that were left in the household together. And I was 21 years old. And so I was trying to figure out who I was and wanted to get out there and be young and all that. But all of those statistics would say I was poised for not being successful. Mm-hmm. I should have failed. And for me, that was the motivating factor. I was going to make my own stats and I was not going to be a failure. And so it motivated me to do more for myself and try harder. And I think that I made my own stats. So I'm one of all of my siblings to go to college and get an advanced degree. My daughter, Latice, is very successful. She has a PhD in marine biology, and currently she's in the Biden and Harris CAP, working in there around the marine biology work. I have a loving marriage and with a blended family, and we have a son who's just as successful with his own business doing government contracts. And I have 3 beautiful grandchildren and one on the way. So, I mean, I've done things to make sure that I didn't live those stats that they put out there for a Black female growing up poor and those kind of things, that those things don't have to make you who you are. You make you who you are. And so I created my own stats.
I love that. Create your own stats. And that's a powerful message because one of the things I know you just talked about, like being a young teen mom and having those statistics. And one of the things that I struggled with after Paul's passing was like this single mom, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, people are gonna look at me like, oh, I'm a single mom. I'm like, you don't know my story, but it is. It's like create your own story.
Right. Right. They'll put you in those buckets really quick that you're not going
Yeah.
to succeed because of this, and this. Or you have less chance of succeeding because this, and this. And I was like, no, I'm going to create my own stats.
I love that. And obviously that is resonating with some of the people that are watching. Erica Bell's like, yes, create your own stats. So I don't know. We might have to hashtag that, April. That's a good one. Or that might be the title of your book.
Oh, wow.
I think I like
I might
it.
have to start thinking on that.
I think that is the title of your book. And April, I don't know if you remember Kim Dean. She worked for us in the Sprout program.
Yes.
And she's just saying, what a beautiful success story of you creating your own stats. So I just think that's wonderful. I like it. I'm writing it down.
Okay.
That's the title of your book. Yeah, we gotta we gotta work on that. I love it. So really, April, everything you just talked about, losing your parents, 4 years apart, being a teen mom, having younger siblings, all of these things. That means that whether you recognize it or not, you showed resilience. Like you had to continue to push through and bounce back and do things. So how are you intentional about like your resilience journey? How are you just intentional about being resilient in all that you do?
I have simple answers for a lot of this, but I would say, being blessed enough to wake up every morning. When I wake up, I feel like I need to do something, whether it's personal or professional, that I feel like is successful for me. But overall, I tend to try not to waste time. What most people will call a workaholic. I am very hardworking. I tend to work a lot because I like to be successful, and I want to be successful in what I do. So if I commit to something, I want to make sure I do it. That's why I don't commit to everything, because I'm going to do it if I try to do that, and I want to be successful at it. So, but for many years, I was doing that so much that I could feel myself being unhappy a lot. And so even depressed at some points. And so I decided that intentionally, from working home 1 day a week at least, I would do something that was all about me, just selfishly about me. And so I got into a lot of things, but I didn't want to waste time. When I came out of those things, I wanted to make sure whatever I did selfishly was enhancing me in some way. So I took like dance classes and sign language classes, excuse me. And I played volleyball in the volleyball league, was the oldest person in the volleyball league, but jamming. And then, right now I take piano lessons. So I do that. I'm very artistic, so I like to paint and those kind of things. I like to create things for my family and friends. So I do very artistic things that I send to them and create for them. I do all that. But I think at the center of all of it, and this is because of my parents, I have the church. I have my faith that keeps me centered and grounded. And so with all that in there, I've learned the love of God, the love of myself, and the love of my friends and family. So that love is what centers me. But I intentionally do that, get a break away from just doing the everyday work.
Yeah, absolutely. That's beautiful. And I can I can testify to the fact that love is what centers you because of the way that you show up for your friends and family, the way that you've shown up for Simone and I in so many ways. Like, look, I'm getting emotional. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
but the way that you've shown up for us has been tremendous over and over again. It's not just a one-time thing. So I love that. I appreciate that. And I love the fact, and I truly admire when you started taking the salsa classes, when you started taking the piano classes. I'm like, okay, that is something. Let me wipe the tears away here. I'm like, that is something.
No. Yeah. I tell my family, I said, and it's funny when I sign my notes, I don't usually say I love you. I say I'm loving you.
Yep.
And I always put the ing on it because I feel like that's an active thing. I'm intentionally thinking about loving you, how I love you, how much you mean to me. It's not something I say and then move on. It's something that lives in me. And so
Yes.
I take that seriously.
Yes. You know what? I'm so glad you said that. I always wondered why you did that.
Yeah,
And now I know.
I started doing that intentionally because I feel like it's something that's ongoing. So I'm in action right now. I'm doing it right now.
Right. Right. Oh, I love it. That
Yeah.
just makes my heart feel good. It makes my heart feel so good. It was something else you said that I wanted to break a point, but I forgot. But that's okay. I'll come back to it. So, given that this is Women's History Month, you are literally history in the making. You have recently stepped into this role. Has it been 2 months?
Yeah, just 2 months.
Just 2 months. Okay. So 2 months ago, you stepped into this role as president and CEO of, got to interrupt my thought. Monique Draper, one of the best teachers and bosses ever.
That's
She's
fine.
talking about you, April Janney. um, but you have, recently stepped into this role as president and CEO of Illinois Action for Children. So obviously, whether you know it or not, you have set the path and you are making the way for so many women who are admiring you and looking up to you for what you're doing. But who's a woman that you admire? And why would you choose this particular woman?
Yeah, that's a hard one, Latrice. And I would naturally say my mother. She was my first influencer and had the foundation, created the foundation for me. But because I lost my mother so early, all of my adult years, my mother's not been here for me. I had to create a circle of other women that I depended on to help me grow into this adult woman. And all of my sisters have been there for me. But I was thinking about this. And I'm like, it's really hard. But I would say my sister Bertha, my oldest sister, even as a child, I admired her because she just seemed so strong, so powerful as a woman. She, in the 70s, ran a home business on the West Side as a Black female running a business. And I could watch her negotiate with the vendors, these men who were trying to, deal with her. And she was just hardcore, not going to let them take advantage of her. She worked hard. She gave employment to the community. She employed a lot of her family members. But also she wanted to have fun. So she would get the group together and we would have little community parties that we would set up, and she would somehow get celebrities to come and politicians to come. But she was that Black female voice in that community, and she was always out there. And I have to say, even now, she took it a step higher. My sister is 80 plus years old now, and she lives in Alabama, and she ran for city council. And her age alone should have stopped her from doing that. But she said they need to hear a strong Black voice, and I'm going to be that voice. And she ran for city council. She didn't win, but she doesn't care. She wanted to be out there saying, hey, you're going to listen to us, and this is what we need to do. And so she's always impressed me by that. And I think I've learned some ways to be stronger because of what I've seen her do.
That is amazing. That I love that. Cause she like, look, I'm out here. What you gonna do? Like, y'all may not vote me in,
She
but
had her posters in the yard. She had people have with her pictures on them. She had little cards she would send out by mail. I said, this woman is all in trying to be a city council member in Alabama.
hey, obstacle to opportunity. Let's go. Like, ain't nothing gonna stop me. I love that.
Yeah. So that's what I would say, my sister Bertha.
I love it. Hey, Sister Bertha, that is definitely a good way to show, and just a good role model for you to have, that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how old you are, that you can still do the things that you want to do. And I think that that's what you're showing too, in what you're talking about with your creativity, right? With taking the dance, with doing the piano, with playing volleyball. Like, you're also showing, like, it doesn't matter. Who
Yeah.
cares?
And it's to my point what I said, every morning you get up, you should get up with a purpose. And it doesn't matter how old you are, you should get up with a purpose. And she got up with a purpose, and that was it. And so it keeps you going. I think I tell people this, my husband, I married into a funeral director's family. And that's when it really sank in for me when I was living at the funeral home and would get up to come to work and I was leaving the building every day. I said, I should be doing something because I'm still here.
That'll make you think about it, right?
Because there were people that weren't. When I was passed by them, there were people that were no longer here. Their number was up. So I said, I have to do something today. I'm still here.
That was kind of the driving force for me when Paul passed. So even stuff like this, right? So I literally just thought about it. I was like, oh, Women's History Month. I said, oh, I know so many great women. And I was just like, oh, I want to do something to just kind of show or acknowledge. And I just started this. I had no plan around it. I had nothing. I was just like, oh, God gave me a list of women. I wrote that list down and I just started reaching out to people like, hey, this is what I want to do. And so I remember when Paul passed, I said, God, if you give it to me, I'm going to do it because I'm here. Like, I feel like my husband died with so much on the inside of him. So I was just like, I'm here. I'm going to do it. Even if it doesn't make sense to other people, it doesn't matter. It makes sense to me at the moment. Or sometimes it don't make sense to me either.
But you try it anyway. Yeah. We have a purpose to be here and we should take advantage of that and do it to the best of our abilities.
Yeah, so, I love that.
But like I said, that's when it really hit home for me.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing that. So that brings us to our last question. And because you're creative, and I think I know where you're going with this, but we'll see. So. Oh, no.
I don't think so.
Okay. I can't wait to hear. So, as you all may or may not know, the last question is about empowerment song. And let me just do a side note. Please, thank you for everybody that's commented so far. Some of our Illinois Action for Children family, Victoria, Monique, Kim, and some of my friends, Kelly, Pam. Thank you all for showing. Make sure you share this because I want all of these stories to be shared, but definitely this Black woman, April Janney, who is the current president and CEO of Illinois Action for Children. She is my mentor. She is my friend. She is like a mother. She is Simone's other grandmother. She is all of those things to us. She means so much to me and my family. So I want you all to share this because we have to uplift and support her in everything that she is doing, leading an organization like Illinois Action for Children, which is so crucial for this city and for this state. So make sure you're sharing this. But we are about to wrap up. And so April is about to give us her Women's Empowerment song that is going to be added to the Women's History Month playlist. April, what you got?
I know you were probably going country because I do love country music. So I would sit it out or dance. But no, there's still another song that I really like, and it's You Gotta Be by Desiree.
That's a good one.
You got to be stronger. You got to be cool. You got to be tough. You got to be wiser. But the one thing that gets me is what she says, but love will make a way. And that's love will make.
Yes, that is a good one. April, I just knew you were going to do a country song.
Yep. No, but love would save the day. So since I was so in my love zone, I said, I gotta be. That's the song I gotta do.
I absolutely love that one. That's a good one. And you caught me off guard, I must admit.
I knew you were going to go there, but I was so pleased. I heard one of them and they went to a country song. I said, yes, someone did it. But no, I can't wait to hear the playlist.
Yeah, I'm so excited about the playlist. It's so much good stuff on there and I'm going to share it. I'm compiling it now. And so when we wrap up this next few interviews over the next few days, and I'm going to share it with everybody so that everybody can listen. So I'm really excited. Anything that you would like to say before we close out?
No, I just want to say how proud I am of you, Latrice. You are like my other from another mother. And, and so is Simone. So I think this was great, the things that you've been doing. I'm so proud of you and glad that you're in my life because I still learn so much. I've been learning from all of these women that you've had on. I've been listening whenever I can. And I look forward to you doing greater things in the future. So thank you so much.
Thank you, April. I appreciate you.
I'm loving you.
I love you. Loving you. Look, I'm about to adopt that now, especially
Loving
now that
you.
I know the meaning behind it. You're right. It's like it's an action, right? We're in action all the time. So I really appreciate that. Loving you always. To everyone that has been watching and listening, thank you for spending a few minutes with us on your Saturday morning. I truly appreciate you all. Again, if you just any form or fashion can support Illinois Action for Children, whether that's through a donation, whether that's through just sending some encouraging, positive messages to April, adding her to your prayers, and making sure that she can absolutely lead this organization into the next however long she chooses to. I don't know what that is, so I'm not going to put a time limit there. But just making sure that she is being uplifted, because we have to support our own and we have to support women that are doing it. This is April Janney, who is women's her story in the making, and I'm so proud of her. So thank you all for joining us, and I will see you next time.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.